Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Hannes Reinisch. Good afternoon, Poland. Good afternoon to everyone. And we start our webinar, Carnuntum Thermenregion, or rather, Thermenregion Carnuntum, as we start with Hannes Reinisch and his intro into Thermenregion. Hannes, the floor is yours.
Thank you. A very warm welcome to Poland. Thank you, Piotr, for introducing me. My name is Hannes Reinisch, and I am from a family winery located just south of Vienna in the Thermenregion. The Thermenregion has about 2,000 hectares of wine, 50% planted with red and 50% with white. And before 1987, before the wine scandal, there had been two regions. The one was named Gumbolzkirchen, and the other was named Bad Vöslau. And in 1987, those two regions came together. In the northern part, we have more the white wines like Zierfandler and Rotgipfler, two very indigenous variety, which are only 200 hectares in total of those two varieties in our region. And in the southern part, we have more the red wines, mainly Pinot Noir, Saint Laurent, and a little bit of Zweigelt. The Thermenregion is surrounded, or on the one hand, more on the north part, we have the Vienna woods, which bring a lot of cold winds during the night. And on the other hand, we get a lot of warm winds from the Hungarian border to get a big difference in temperature during the day and night from those two different climates. From the soil, we have a lot of chalk in your soil. In the northern part, more brown soil with seashells, and in the southern part, more black soil with alluvial land. Yeah, next. Thank you very much. You have very nice now the most important towns like Gumbolzkirchen or Mödling in the northern part, or Bad Vöslau and Tattendorf, Soos in the southern part. Yeah, next, please. We are going to have the last DAC in the Thermenregion from Austria, which will be the first vintage 2023. And there will be three different quality levels. On the one hand, it's the Gebietswein, the regional wine, then the village wine, and the single vineyards. When we will start from the single vineyards, we will have the very typical varieties of the region with Rotgipfler, Zierfandler, Pinot Blanc, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Saint Laurent. And if we go further then to the village wines, we will also have Zweigelt and Pinot Gris. And on the Gebietswein, on the regional wine, we will also have Blauer Portugieser and Neuburger. Next, please. Here you have those two very unique treasures. On the left side, Rotgipfler, which is a natural crossing of Rote Veltliner and Traminer. The leaves are red at the beginning, the shoots, and then they start to get green. That's why the synonym of is Rotgipfler. Zierfandler is a very late ripening variety, which ripens about 2 weeks later. And it's also a crossing of Rote Veltliner and Traminer. Next, please. This is a picture from the Mandelhöhe, which is located in Dreiskirchen, and there is a lot of Zierfandler on this typical soil type. And here you see in the back the Vienna woods. Next, please. Perfect. Now we have the two typical red varieties, Pinot Noir and Saint Laurent. Pinot Noir has a very long tradition in our region. So the monks from Cluny, from Burgundy, came over in the 12th century to come to Thailand, and then they planted the first Burgundy varieties because they saw that the altitude and the climate and the soil type is similar to Burgundy, and that's when they brought over the first Pinots and Chardonnays. And Saint Laurent is also related to Pinot Noir and first came to Austria 1838. And St. Laurent needs a very poor soil, which fits very, very good into our town, into Tattendorf, which will taste later. Next, please. Perfect. Here we have the look from Tattendorf, from Frauenfeld into the direction of Gumpoldskirchen, in the northern part into the Vienna woods. Yeah, next, please. Perfect. So now I want that Alfred Florian can introduce his wine, his Rotgipfler Rodana.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hannes. Thank you very much. It was short and very instructive. Thank you, informative. And yeah, Florian, are you with us? Do you think he is with us? Yes, he is. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. And so the floor is yours. You have 5 minutes, and well, go on, please. You're the first. Rod Gipfler.
Thank you. So, hello and welcome to this webinar as well from my side. Thank you, Piotr, for inviting me to represent my winery. My name is Florian Alfred. I currently run our family business together with my wife, Claudia. My family produces wine since 1762 in Dreiskirchen, in a small village in the Thermenregion. At the moment, we work about 30 hectares of 30 hectares of vineyards according to organic guidelines, and we are sustainably certified as well. Yeah, it's a great honor for me to represent the first wine this evening. Here is the vineyard. This is the vineyard of called Rodana. Yeah, I hope you're ready to taste the wine together with me. I've chosen this single vineyard wine. I guess Rotgipfler, the variety, was briefly discussed earlier. Just the most important details again. So it's a natural cross of Rota Veltliner and Traminer. It's a mild aromatic, medium late ripening grape, and matures very well in the bottle. So some details about the vineyard. So Rodana, the vineyard, offers great characteristics for Rotgipfler to develop its individual peak. It's on one hand, Rotgipfler needs as well water, but well dosed water portions, so not too much, not too encourage the wine to excessive shoot or fruit growth. So let's taste the wine.
I believe, Florian, it's for many of us, it's the first contact with Rod Gipfler, right? So perhaps if you could focus on some distinctive features of this variety, right? I mean the sensory features.
Yeah. I guess it's easier to discuss the sensoric characteristics with the first sip. So as Rotgipfler shows in the nose, this is a mild aromatic, so I call it mild aromatic grape, which is which has some exotic flavors in the nose, maybe some ripe pears, some stone fruit, maybe some passion fruit when it's grows to its yeah when it's very high in ripeness. Later then, there is also a hint of firestone in the nose. So yeah, well, Rotgipfel is always kind of a richer white wine. It's a full-bodied white wine. It's during its ripening process, it starts very early to put some sugar into the grapes during a very high acidity, goes down slowly. So we accept a little bit higher sugar ripeness for the individual harvest time. Yeah, in the cellar, so I do Rotgipfel. I love to mature it in big oak casks. I think this slightly effect of air or oxidation in oak barrels pushes the individual aromas of this grape variety at its best. So again, to the wine. So this is now from the vintage 2021, which was quite a perfect year for the production of white wine. There's a very fresh acidity, perfect ripeness, harvest at the end of September, at best weather conditions. So yeah, at the moment the wine shows I guess it's a quite a power pack at the moment. There is a lot of exotic in the nose, but on the other side, I guess if you take a sip, you see how deep and how intense also the minerality is in this wine.
Good. We have a question about the food pairing for this wine. The best food pairing.
A food pairing is always a very difficult question for me because yeah, this is a very individual question. So for me, I love Rotgipfel paired with structured fish or some seafood as well. But I would, if it's a little bit older, so matured 3 to 5 years in the bottle, I would serve it with also white meat, maybe chicken or yeah.
Okay.
And Rotgipfel with is always very high in extract, so works also very good with if the food is a little bit more spicy.
Okay. So as far as I know, it's 16 euro the shelf price in Austria, right? 16 euro. The distributor in Poland is lesu.pl, lesu.pl, and the total production of this wine is 15,000 bottles, right?
Correct.
Good. Very interesting. Thank you very much. Sorry for rushing through the first photos, but it's, just sometimes it could. Yeah. Sorry for that. It's it always happens. and stay with us. So 2 questions about food pairing and price. If you want to ask Florian anything, just he will be with us and he can respond in chat, right? Thank you. Thank you, Florian.
Thank you.
Stay with us, please. And now it's Marie-Sophie Hartl and Weingut Heinrich Hartl. Marie-Sophie, you're here. Hi.
Hi. I switched on the camera. I hope you can hear me.
We do.
I hope that's all right. Hello,
So-
everyone. I'm very happy to not taste the wine because I must admit I don't have it in front of me. But I'm happy to talk about the wine today. So the man who actually makes the wine is my husband Heinrich, that you can see on the photos now. We work together as a family winery. I'm more involved in all kind of other businesses around the winery, in sales, in marketing, we also have a little Heuring restaurant. If you want to switch the pictures, you can see the whole family. Can you click on the next slide, maybe? Perfect. There's another photo of Heinrich, and then I think we have the family next. Perfect. So you can see us there. We have 4 kids together, and we work together as a family. We also have the grandparents around, and for us, we are located in the flatter part of Thermenregion, next to Tattendorf, where the Rheinisch winery is based. And we have been here as a family in a mixed farming business. We have been growing wine for around 6 generations now. And wine has become more important for the whole family. So today is really our most important thing that we focus on. And my husband has always dreamed about having vineyards not only in this flatter part of the region, but also in the hillier side. You could see that on Heinrich on the presentation that Hannes gave you earlier, where you have the hillier part, where you have around Gumbolskirchen and so, where you have more white wines, and then in this flatter area where we are based, we have more red wine. And it's the same in our winery. We make both red and white wines. We have started with Zierpfandler and Rotgipfler around 15 years ago. So this part here is closer to the vineyard where we have this wine that we are now tasting from. Kreuzweingarten is a vineyard that we rent. It's a relatively small one. It's about 0.4 hectares. And the part that we have is planted with Pinot Noir and Rotgipfler. So the production that we have from this vineyard is only about 1,000 bottles. But it's a very old vineyard. We have wines there that are more than 40 years old. And when we first harvested there in 2016, we really were impressed by the wine that we got from there. So that's why we decided to work it differently to the other Rotgipfler that we have, which is more like an everyday wine, in easy drinking one. So this one has more structure and more power and more body, something that you find quite often in Rotgipfler. And something that I would really like to mention, since some of you probably tasted for the first time, Rotgipfler is a really rare grape. You only have about 120 hectares on the whole world, and most of this is grown in Thermenregion. So this is really something very unique that you only find here in Thermenregion. You talked earlier about food pairing. So we have a few sommeliers around the world who really like to use these wines, because on the one hand, they always have a story to tell because it's something really unique. The name, as Hannes mentioned earlier, comes from these very young leaves that are totally reddish when they come in spring. And so that's why it's called Rotgipfel. Rot is red in German. And they are very versatile. So you can use them for a lot of different food. You can use them for everything, where a lighter red wine also works well. And as Florian mentioned earlier, for spicy parts as So our wine was elevated in a big wooden barrel. So we had 2 barrels of this vintage and 600-liter barrels. And when it was stored there for around 18 months on the fine lees. And then it's a vineyard that is situated just above the Tallen winery, which was founded in 1141 by monks who came directly from Citeaux, from Burgundy, to work in our region, to have a monastery there in Heiligenkreuz, which is across the Viennese woods. And they also had the winery there. You know, in the past, the influence of the church was very important for wine growing. I think that's also the case in most European wine growing areas. And as I heard also in Poland, because funnily enough, we had an intern from Poland who has founded a winery also, and it's very nice to exchange views and see how things work. So it's maybe about the vineyard, the single vineyard there. It's very much influenced by these cold northern airstreams that we get from the Viennese woods, and it has relatively deep rooting soils where there's a good storage capacity for water, which is important for Rotgipfel. It has a high limestone content there, which gives it this nice little creamy structure. And basically that's all I've got to say at the moment. Maybe there are some questions.
I have a question. Your intern from Poland, first name was Marcin?
No, his name was Kamil Bacentewicz.
Kamil Bacentewicz, yes.
Yes. He got his he did basically one of his first wines that he made was here in our winery, and we're still quite a lot in touch. It's nice to. Okay. So my husband consulted him for quite a while when he planted his first wines. Yeah.
Oh, good, good, yeah. Okay. What is the storage potential?
Yeah, age-worthy. Rotgipfel is something that is really important to mention. There is a local Winothek in Gumpolskirchen where you have wines back to the 1950s even. And on rare occasions, we get to taste these wines. We in our winery don't have such a long experience with these wines. The first ones that we made from the Rotgipfel grape were like 15 years ago, but it's really impressive to see how well they age. They conserve this kind of youth and aromatic freshness that stays for a very long time, and they only get more complex over the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is what, because it's not, Rotgipfel is always more medium to full bodied. It's never a very light wine. It's not really something that the grapes give you. So you need to wait for a certain time before you pick it. And then, but since you have this structure, you get it from the grape, from the vineyards, then also that's what makes them really age-worthy.
Okay. Marie-Sophie, thank you very much. Just correct me if I'm wrong. This is 1,000 bottles, the total production.
Yes, we have 1,000 bottles of this wine. Yeah, it's a single vineyard wine from a really small parcel that we rent.
Mm-hmm. And the price, the shelf price in Austria is 16 again.
Yes, yeah, that's
the same price as Alphard, right? And your distributor in Poland is Rafavino.
Rafavino, yeah.
From Newsonge, I believe this is. Yeah. Newsonge, yeah. Good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us if there's any questions coming in chat.
Yes.
And now this is Hannes again, Hannes Reinisch, and yes, Hannes, hello. Hannes is not here. So be more active, guys. Type something, write something, ask questions. Hi, Hannes.
Hi, Piotr.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, this is you, yes. Okay, so floor is yours and go on, please.
Perfect. So we are a family-owned winery located in Dattendorf. We are working in the 4th and 5th generation. So our grandfather started 1923 to found the winery. We are working bioorganic and certified bioorganic since 2013. And we also like to give the soil healthy back to the next generation. That's why we do that. The wine which I want to represent you now is a St. Laurent vintage 2020. St. Laurent is a very rare variety. There are only 4,000 hectares on the entire world. The biggest producers now are the Czech Republic, Slovakia, then it's Austria and Germany, and a little bit also in Switzerland, California, and New Zealand. The good thing on St. Laurent is that the alcohol potential is not going up too high, and it's related to Pinot Noir. So the mother is Pinot Noir, and the father is unknown. So the variety came first from Alsace to Austria, 1838, to the monastery of Stift Klosterneuburg. They planted the first St. Laurent vineyard in Vienna. And as the monastery of Klosterneuburg is the biggest owner of land in our town, in Tattendorf, they were looking which variety could fit on that poor and very warm soil. And then they planted the first St. Laurent 1950. And then they saw that it's working very good. Our grandfather also saw that. And he planted his first St. Laurent in 1956 and 58. And we still get some grapes from that vineyard. And we went to that vineyard, took the nicest plants and made our own selection of St. Laurent, because we think very important is to have a very big DNA in your vineyard to get a big diversity in your wines. You have now in your glass the St. Laurent Frauenfeld, vintage 2020. 2020 was a cooler vintage, which we always love, because then you get more into those big differences of temperature between day and night, and then you get more aromatic into the wine. We like to ferment St. Laurent in big oak casks. We also like to not destem everything. So on this wine, about 20% was fermented, included whole bunches, because we want to go down with the amount of oak we use, but we need some tannins to get anywhere else. And that's why we like to work with whole bunches. About 50% of the wine is aged in wood from the Vienna woods, so from nearby. And the wood we store here at the winery for 36 months before we then give it back to the barrel maker, Franz Stockinger, and then he's making barrels for us. The wood from the Vienna woods has a little bit wider grains. You get a little bit more oxygenation, which helps the St. Laurent to soften down the tannins a little bit more. Yeah, enjoy the wine.
Okay, thank you very much, Hannes. And you are distributed in Poland by Austrowin, so Adam Kusak,
Yeah.
one of the most important guys in the Austrian wine business in Poland.
Mhm.
And the other company is Enoterra, right, which is completely new one.
Yeah.
Enoterra. And the production of this wine, the total number of bottles is 12,000. And the shelf price in Austria is 22 euro. Is that correct?
That's correct. Perfect.
I'm surprised. Yes, I did take the notes, and I did not make any mistake. Good. Thank you very much. Yes, here's Marie-Sophie writing in the chat that they are also certified organic and sustainable. Yeah. Thank you.
Also, Eifert is certified, and also Schneider Georg is certified organic. So all 4 producers are certified organic.
Good to know. Okay, so now this is Georg Schneider's time, And thank you. Stay with us. And you guys, if you want to ask Hannes or Marie-Sophie of anything, just do it now. Yeah. And Georg Schneider, we are waiting for you. Yes. Hello. We can't hear you? Or, yeah? No? Yes.
No, it's working, I think, yeah.
No, it's working. Good.
So hello,
Good.
everybody, and thank you for the opportunity for the possibility to present our winery here.
Thank you.
So we are a family-run winery with around 16 hectares, also located in the town of Tattendorf, like the Weingut Rheinisch. And we also focus on these unique grape varieties like Rotgipfler, St. Laurent, but also the internationally planted Pinot Noir. We are also organically certified, so we work since 2008 organically, and I run the winery together with my wife. And yeah, here is the real boss of the winery. And yeah, the strong focus, especially on Rotgipfler, Pinot Noir, and St. Laurent. The St. Laurent is the most planted grape variety in our region. That's a picture that I brought because it gives you a good impression about our area. We are on the border of two of the main landscapes in Middle Europe. That's on the one hand, the Alps that are coming down along the Vienna woods to the plain fields of the Vienna Basin. Along the slopes, we have a stronger focus on white grape varieties, especially Zierfandler, Rotgipfler, and the white Burgundy grape varieties, Pinot Blanc and Chardonnay. And on these plain fields, we have a much stronger influence on red grape varieties. So in our town, in Dattendorf, where the wine that I will present afterwards is coming from, there we have around 80% red wine. And the main reason why we have such a strong focus on red wine is, on one hand, the climatic influence. Influence means it's a Pannonic influence, a continental climate that comes from Hungary to our region. That's one influence. On the other hand, we have these cold winds that are coming down from the Vienna woods. The other reason, and that's especially important for St. Laurent, are the soil conditions that can be found in our area. Here we have a good picture. These are limestone. It's a limestone gravel. On top, just a thin layer of black earth. So that's these are sediments that was brought through rivers from the Alps to our area. The name of this part of the area is Stonefield. That already explains a lot about of the soil condition here. These are very shallow soils, and St. Laurent as well as Pinot Noir are two grape varieties that are very, very sensitive. They have thin skins, and the most important thing for ripening a good St. Laurent is to plant the St. Laurent on shallow soils, because that reduce a bit the strongness of the vigor, how strong the wines are growing, gives you a bit smaller berries, and you can ripe this St. Laurent till it's fully ripe. One very typical thing for St. Laurent, Rheinisch has already explained it, is that the sugar level is going to a maximum of a potential alcohol of around 12.5, 13 volume percent, and not higher. Even if we have some sunny days or sunny weeks, this sugar content do not increase. And that's something that makes this grape variety very interesting, especially for warmer years, warmer vintages, because the sugar level is not going too high, and it's also a grape variety that keeps the acidity a bit higher. What I'm presenting now is St. Laurent Tattendorfer Ried Frauenfeld, vintage 2020. So it's a vineyard that is located in the eastern part of Tattendorf, an altitude of around 225 meters. And what makes this appellation very special is because it's generally it's a shallow soil, but this top soil of black earth is a bit deeper in that part. So that gives wines with a bit more structure, but a bit more fullness. St. Laurent is a grape variety that is closely related to Pinot Noir. So we know today that one parent of this grape variety was Pinot Noir. The other parent is unknown, so we didn't find it till now. So if we talk about this wine, about the St. Laurent, it's like a Pinot Noir, also a very elegant and balanced wine. That's one thing. If you compare it to Pinot Noir, I think you see the color normally is more intensive. You have a darker color. In Pinot Noir, you normally find this red berry fruit. And here in this St. Laurent, you have especially these dark berries that reminds you on blackberry, on sherries, especially sour sherries. And as compared to Pinot Noir, it has a bit of higher acidity and the tannins are a bit stronger. Because of the stronger tannins and the higher acidity, it's a wine, it's a grape variety that needs a bit more ripening or aging in the barrels. So we fermented this wine in open fermenters with plunging down, and the aging was afterwards in barrels anywhere between 228 up to 600 liters. But it's very important for the St. Laurent to age it, especially for about a year or a bit longer, to get to soften a bit the stronger tannins. Yeah, maybe something that's also very interesting. The name of St. Laurent is coming of the names day of the Holy St. Laurent. That's on the 10th of August, and normally that's the time where St. Laurent starts to change its color. The berries are changing its colors from green to red. And that normally happens around the 10th of August. And yeah, it's the first grape that makes this color change, this Variação in the vineyard. So when we see this color change, so we can start to think about the harvest.
And nowadays it's also the 10th of August, or it's
yes, yeah, that's the other question because of climate change and so on. It's a bit earlier, but this year, for example, it seems we have a bit later harvest. So I expect that in that year it will be around the 10th of August. But generally, yes, with climate change and so on, it's now a bit earlier.
Okay, so Georg, you have no distributor in Poland.
Till now, not, no.
Till now, yeah. This is 2,000 bottles, the production of this wine, and the shelf price in Austria is 21 euro.
That's 21 euros, yeah.
21 euro, yeah.
So for St. Laurent, we have different quality levels. That's our top St. Laurent. That's the single vineyard St. Laurent. We also have a classic and a village wine. So yeah, St. Laurent is the most important grape variety in our winery. We have around 1/3 of our production is from St. Laurent.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions? Any comments, guys? They are very silent today. Should ask something. Make some comments. Oh yes, that's the perfect time to take some photos. Yes, guys, don't forget it. Don't forget it. Yeah, good. Hannes, stay with us, please. If there's any comments in chat coming, hopefully there are some comments. Yeah, and stay with us. Let's see. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now this is this is Christina. Hi. So we pass to Carnuntum. Somebody's writing something. So wait. Someone's Georg. Don't be upset. Okay, Christina. Let's move to the Carnuntum. Yes, and there's a beautiful new logo of Carnuntum.
Yeah.
No, it's not new.
No, it's not new.
It's not new. Good. So the floor is yours. Go on, please.
Hello, hi. Hi, I'm Christina Metzel, and I'm happy to give you a short introduction on the Carnuntum wine growing region, which we're going to taste the wines next. So you can see we are located in Lower Austria. We're the most eastern part of Lower Austria, located between Vienna and Bratislava. To give you an idea, but more important for us, of course, between the river Danube, the Lake Neusiedl, the Alps, and the Carpathians. So this is actually where we are located. You can see we are one of the smallest wine growing regions in Austria, with only around 900 hectares of total surface. If you go to the next slide, you can see it's a very historic ground we are working with. The name Carnuntum comes from the old Roman name for one of the biggest cities in the Roman Pannonian Empire, which was settled exactly here in our region. So they sent soldiers and people here to save the border. It was a very important crossing of the Danube River, the Limes trading route, and directly on the border to the Germans. It was one of the biggest cities in the Roman Empire, around 70,000 inhabitants, 100 after Christ, which was the size of London or Vienna at that time. So they had a very important impact, of course, on our region, on the wine production, because wine and food has always been a really important part of the Roman history, as you may know. So the symbol of the region is the Heidendor, which you can see here on the right upper side. It was the entrance into the city of Carnuntum, like a Roman archway into the city of Carnuntum. You can still find it here. It's in the middle of the fields. Beautiful old symbol of the history we are working with, and this is why we integrated it to the logo as a symbol for our region. On the next slide, you can see the influences on our climate, so the climatically influences we have. The main influence is coming from east. It's the continental Pannonian climate, which is bringing warm late summers, warm fall seasons, dry fall seasons actually. We get some Atlantic influences, but hardly any. I have to say these are the lowest influences we have, because they normally stop right after Vienna, so all these cooler rainfalls from the west part don't really reach us that much. The cool air from north, which is coming from the river Danube, from the forest, from the northern European part, is bringing us mainly cool nights and cooler temperatures during the nights, which is actually a very important factor for the freshness and spiciness you can find in our wines. And of course, the Mediterranean Adriatic climate, which is coming from over Croatia, Hungary. So it's more from the southeast part, normally coming, turning a little bit around and giving us the main influences. When you have the Adriatic rainfalls, we will definitely get some water here as well. So if we go to the next slide, you can see the average temperatures in our region. Göttlersbrunn is the center of Carnuntum. This is why it is mentioned here. Compared to Bordeaux and Florence, you see we are as warm as Bordeaux in the main summer time, so in July, but then the late summer and fall is getting cooler compared to the other regions. And on the next slide, there is rainfall, the average rainfall, which is great to see. So we have more rainfalls over the summer time. In the summer season, we are a little bit higher humidic than compared to the others, but then in late summer and fall, when the harvest is starting, we're definitely getting drier, which is great, of course, for us, because during harvest we don't like to have these heavy rainfalls anymore. On the next slide, you see a picture of the soft rolling hills we have, which brings us to the geology actually of the region. The hillside where we are growing our wines was mainly formed by the ancient flow of the river Danube. So the river Danube went much bigger after the last ice age, 150 meters higher than it is now today. And it left the gravelly terraces for us. So it left a gravelly hillside for us, which is the main growing area for our wines. And of course, the loessy soils, which were settled afterwards, after these gravelly movements here. On this picture, you see the church of Höflein, which is in the middle of the hillside surrounding Göttlersbrunn and Höflein, and we have a great look at the hill on the very end of the picture where the Spitzeberg is located actually. This is the border to Slovakia, and this is the second region where wine is grown in Carnuntum. The last wine we are tasting today is from Spitzeberg, so it is from this area on the very east part of Carnuntum. On the next slide, you see have an overview of the geology here in our region. So Carnuntum is the red circle in the middle between Vienna and Bratislava, you see. The link between the Alps and the Carpathians broke around 20 million years ago. So these two big mountains used to be connected, but then it broke and there was a basin in the middle. A basin formed in the middle where we are located actually. This was filled with ancient river sediments. We used to be the ending of the river Danube into the Pannonian Sea, and it was kind of a flooding area, very wet and flooded area during this time. And this is actually the lowest part of all our soils is formed by these river sediments. So this basin has been filled by these river sediments. It was sweetwater river sediments. They are very clayey, very chalky sediments, and they are actually saving the water for us. So the gravel and the loess was then settled above these sediments later on, and they are very dry and lean soils. But when the vines are rooting very deep, and they can root through these sediments as well, they will reach the sea sediments with lots of water, nutritions, and bring these areas in the soil, bring the water, so you don't find any irrigation in our region at all. We all work with these water reservoirs we have down there. So on top we have gravels, we have sand, we have moss, which is then the topsoil formed. On the next slide, there is an overview on the most important grape varieties we are growing. So Carnuntum is the only wine growing region in Lower Austria which is dominated by red wines. Hardly. So 55% is red wine production, 45% is white wine production. The most important grape variety is Zweigelt. It is the base of all the blends and most of the single vineyard wines we are tasting in the region around Göttlersbrunn, the Abestaler Hügelland. In the region around Spitzeberg, on the very east part of Carnuntum, there is the Blaufränkisch dominating, and all the Spitzeberg wines are produced from the Blaufränkisch grapes. So this is why it is the second important red grape variety, also getting a little bit more important in the Göttlersbrunn area now, but here we are definitely focusing on Zweigelt. There is some Merlot grown, especially as a blend partner for the blends of the single vineyards, and also the village wines. St. Laurent, Pinot Noir are not as important as in the Thermenregion, so which has a very low percentage of production of these two grape varieties, and Cabernet Sauvignon. So the Carnuntum DSC system on the last slide, Carnuntum.
Christina, sorry for interrupting, but dein Ton ist schlecht, as Robert says. So something wrong with your voice.
You cannot hear me?
We hear you, but with some terrible noises.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will try to do it with phones.
yeah, the earphones would be as
So you
flat.
can hear me now?
No, we can hear you, but it's not, it's not clear. It's the, yeah.
Okay. I'm
Anyway,
sorry. Actually, the only reason I have, or the only chance I have, is to work with the earphones. Is it better now, or is it worse?
continue, please. It's we can hear you, but it's not as smooth as it should be. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just let's see. Perhaps it's temporary. Perhaps just let's check the comments in the chat coming about Schneider. Still about Schneider. It's in Polish. Great Syrah, great family, and a great vineyard with certain microclimate. And hello, Christina from Vino and Kieliszki. This is from Open. Yeah, this is Wojciech.
Hi, Wojciech.
Yeah, Wojciech, who speaks German. Yeah, as we know. Yeah, and Marie Sophie about St. Lawrence. So yeah, and about the climate change lately. Did you observe any? So say something, Christina. Perhaps it's better now. Say
Yeah.
hello.
Let's try to do the last slide. Then I'm finished with the Carnuntum introduction.
Yeah.
Is it better now? Yeah. Okay.
Let's say so. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last slide is about Carnuntum DSE and of course the development of the Premier Cru, the single vineyards, Erste Lage. So we introduced the Carnuntum DSE system in 2019 after 15 years of introduction and movement in the region. So we formed the DSC pyramid of origin of Carnuntum, included the grape varieties Grüne Veltliner and the white Burgundian grape varieties, because these are the most important white grapes we are growing. So the Burgundian grape varieties are Chardonnay and Pinot Blanc, Weißburgunder. For the red wines, we have Zweigelt and Blaufränkisch. And we also are allowed to produce blends where the DSC varieties are dominating. So 2/3 of the blends should be produced from these grape varieties. All the same varieties go from start at the regional wines, Gebietswein in Carnuntum, up to the village wines produced from the vineyards surrounding the villages. Then we have, of course, the single vineyard wines produced from the most important and best vineyards we have. And on top of it, we created the Erste Lage wines, which are allowed to be produced from 9 different vineyards in Carnuntum. They are all very important vineyards, which we are used to work with for 8 years.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Thank you. What does it mean as flattered? As flattered in German, what does it mean?
It's kind of flattering. So it's not clear. It's disturbed.
It's not clear.
Disturbed by interaction. Yeah. But I'm sorry, I don't know why.
No, it's not your fault. This the connection is okay. Good. Thank you very much, Christina. Stay with us because you're coming back, right? In 2 wines from now. And now it's Caroline Tafferner. You know very well, Caroline. Caroline, hello. No, thank you very much, Christina. It was not easy. Caroline, hello. She's walking her dog, perhaps. No, she's coming.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me? Hi.
We can hear you. We can see you. Hi.
Okay.
Hello. Good to see you again.
How is the
So-
sound? Okay.
The sound is okay. Yes. Go on, please, Caroline.
Okay, so I'm happy to be here again. This is already my third time being with the tasting with you, and I really enjoy it every time I'm here. So maybe some of you already know me, but for those of you who don't know me yet, I will give you a little explanation. So on the first picture, you can see my dad and me together. Yeah, since last year I run the winery by myself. So we are both like winemakers. But I'm like the head winemaker and CEO of the company since last year, since my parents retired with last year. So yeah, I'm very happy to be able to present our wines to you. A little bit about our family. We're family-owned and operated winery. My parents just started like a few years before I was born, so 35 years ago with the winery. And we started very small production. We used to have a farm here with animals and farmland. And we also always used to sell our wines just here locally. We had a little restaurant where we used to sell our wines. That's how we started. But since 2002, we sold all the animals and we rented out the farmland, and now we're only focusing on winemaking. So since 2000, that's me in the cellar. We produce 60% red wines and 40% white wines. Since 2019, all of the production is organic and sustainable. That was really important for me when I returned back home. So I studied winemaking and then I worked in New Zealand and in Australia. And in 2017, I returned back home. And the first big change for us was to change the whole production and farming to organic methods. So we always, in the last 10 years, focused on organic winemaking, but in years that we had a lot of pressure with weather and humidity, we kept the option open to also spray non-organic products in the vineyard. But since 2019, we work 100% organic. Yeah, so this is the vineyard, some of our areas in Götlesbrunn. So all of our vineyards are located around the town of Götlesbrunn. And the wine that I did bring to you today that you have at your tasting is a village wine. So I think all of the other wines will be single vineyard wines, and my village wine is the only one that you will have. Tina showed you the pyramid with the regional wines on the bottom, and then in the middle we have the village wines, and on top we have the single vineyard wines. So the village wine is called Monument. That used to be the old name when we started with this brand, but in the future, starting with next vintage, it will only be called after the origin of the wine. So the origin is the town of Götlesbrunn. This is the town where I am right now, where I was born, where I grew up. It's a very small town, only 800 people live here, but we have 23 wineries that produce wine here. So the whole town is basically living and breathing wine. And this wine is also very special to me because it also represents really the grape varieties that are so special for this town. So number one, red grape variety in Götlesbrunn is Zweigelt. Number two, red grape variety in Götlesbrunn is Merlot. And then we have Blaufränkisch and St. Laurent. So this wine contains of Zweigelt, Merlot, and St. Laurent, and in the future we will also add a bit of Blaufränkisch. So you really have everything that that is so special for this place, and coming from 3 different vineyards. So after that you will have single vineyard wines that only come from one particular small vineyard. Here we have 3 different vineyards, 3 different grape varieties. Vintage is 2021, so it's still young, but I think the specialty about Carnuntum is we have like very clay-rich soil. We have some sand, some gravel, some loess. Most areas are surrounded by cool forests, so you have very juicy wines that are easily accessible to drink young. 2021 is not that young, but the wine stayed 16 months in new and used oak barrels. So I think for the age and for the way we made this wine, it's really amazing to drink now, but it has a great longevity. So you can keep it for like at least 5 to 10 years, shouldn't be a problem. And about the winemaking, we do 100% hand picking. During harvest, we have 15 people picking for us. we are able to make like a hectare a day, depending on the grape variety and on the vintage, of course. But most of the time we start with Zweigelt and or St. Laurent, and then Merlot is more on the end of the harvest. So all these three grape varieties are being picked separately. They come from different vineyards surrounding the town. Then they come to our winery. We only use gravity. We don't pump the skins. We destem them, and then they come in open oak fermenters or in still fermentation. And we keep them separated until shortly before bottling. Then we do the blending. And the blending always depends on the vintage, but it's mostly Zweigelt. That's important. So if you want to have Carnuntum on the front label, it has to be most parts of Zweigelt and or Blaufränkisch. The Zweigelt and the St. Laurent stay in used oak barrels, and the Merlot is in new barrels. So that's why you already have that kind of influence of the oak, these vanilla notes, but it's already very like fruity, dark fruit, nice spiciness to it. Yeah.
Well,
Natural fermentation, no yeast.
Carolina,
Forget any.
Wojciech types a very nice wine, and Wojciech is a distributor
Yeah,
of your
that's
wine in Poland. Yes,
our
and he likes this wine. That's good.
No,
But
for
Yola
us.
also writes a nicely balanced, very friendly wine. And Maciej, my favorite one so far.
Yeah, I really like
Good.
it as well. We just bottled it 2 months ago, and I really like it as well. It's already like great to drink now. And for a village wine, which is a new product that we all launched in Carnuntum to focus on the village wines, I'm very happy about it. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. So yeah.
Okay. I like it too. The price of this wine is in Austria. The shelf price is 18 euro, and the
Yeah.
total production is 2,500 bottles.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
very limited. And yes, and Wino i Kieliszki is your distributor in Poland, and you didn't even show your Wunderwaffe, which is Bella. Where's
Yes.
Bella?
She was here. It's my dog, but I think it's still a little bit too hot for her because she has so much fur. And
Yeah.
she prefers to come out at night, and during the day she likes to stay inside. But I don't know where she is. Usually she likes to join me during.
Bella used to make the show, during
She's not
appearing
sleeping,
on
so that's
make
why
the cameo.
I kept her
Yeah.
away so she can steal my show. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
so much.
Carolina. Thank you, and hope to see you soon again. And now this is Maximilian. Maximilian, hi. Hello.
Hi, hello from my side as well.
Go on,
Nice to
please.
be involved here today. My name is Maximilian Pimper from the winery Gerd Pimper in Göttelsbrunn. At the picture you can see my dad is Gerd. We are a family business and cultivate about 15 hectares. Our winery is in conversion to organic viticulture and will be certified with Harvest 23. And 70% of our wines are red ones and 30% white. Our main variety in the winery is Zweigelt, of course, and we cultivate Zweigelt on nearly all different sites in Göttelsbrunn and also a little part in Höfrein, like our Bernreiser is. So let's go on to our wine today, Ried Bernreiser. Our Ried Bernreiser consists of 100% Zweigelt. The name comes from the word Reisern, which indicates on the natural vegetation at this site. This consisting of brush and brushwood. The vineyard has a poor, gravelly, calcareous soil with a lot of limestone, and it's a southwest slope without direct forest influence. So I think this single vineyard is one of the warmest, if not even the warmest location in our area. So I would say that the Thermenregion produces very complex, deep, and dense red wines. Yeah, the grapes were harvested by hand at the beginning of October 2020. Fermentation starts by natural yeast. So at our single vineyard wines, we always ferment with the yeast coming from the vineyard. And at this wine, we have a mashing stand time between 3 and 4 weeks. It's always depending on the vintage. And under controlled temperature, we also use a little percentage of whole bunch to bring a little bit more freshness and more tannins. To get a good structure. Yeah, the wine is aged in 30% new and used small French oak barrels for about 18 months. And since the last years, we reduced the influence a little bit of new oak to show more the character of the single vineyards, but always a small part to support the aging of the wine. Yeah, I think the wine shows what the variety can achieve on the right soil and on perfect conditions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Maximilian. So by now, you have no distributor in Poland, right?
Not yet. Yeah.
Not yet. 22 euro the shelf price,
Yes.
and 2,000 bottles in total production of this
Yes.
Thermenregion, right? And the next, any comments, guys, to this wine? Let's see. Somebody is writing something, typing. Good. Okay. 22 euro. Okay, the next wine would be, it's also going to be from Thermenregion. Yeah, and it's from, it's Christina again, but let's see. Like it very much, Yola. Maximilian. Yeah, come back. Yola likes it very much.
I'm here.
Yeah. Anybody? Guys? It's like a sinusoid, here they're overactive or they are not active at all. Well, okay. Thank you very much, Maximilian. Hope to see you soon, and stay with us, please. And now it's Christina again, and read Thermenregion again. And be more active, please. Typing is not so harmful. Christina, hello. Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Yes. Very well. Go on, please.
Yeah, now I can show you wine from our winery. Winery is called Franz and Christina Netzel, which are the names of my parents actually. On the picture you can see my father and me. So I'm Christina, not Christina, like here. It's a small mistake. Christina is my mother's name. I'm Christina. Pretty complicated, I know, but that's how it is. So we are a very classic family-run winery, raised from a mixed farm, like everybody here. And my parents actually decided to only focus on wine production, to really focus on high quality production. They left all the other land, all the agricultural land. They really focused on wine, enlarged the vineyards and the cellar and so on. So we're now still running the winery as a family winery. We produce around 30 hectares vineyards, all organic certified. We started with the organic treatment in the vineyards in 2013. When my first kids were born, it was really important for me to work more sustainable and more organic in the vineyards, looking after the wines and after the land we are working with. Our main grape variety is Zweigelt, as everybody here. So around 50% of our production is the Zweigelt grape. And here that's a nice overview on the vineyard surrounding Göttlersbrunn, I think, what we are working with. And we mainly produce pure Zweigelt wines, so single varietal wines, but also blends, starting in the regional category, going up to the village wines and the single vineyards finally, which I'm going to show today. Another vineyard, maybe the next picture. Our cellar. So we have an old cellar. Our winery is really started in very small. My parents only started with 4 hectares of vineyards, and then they grew it up to the 30 hectares we have now. I started to work in the winery in 2007. So it's now 16 years ago, my 16th harvest this year in the winery, doing it together with my parents. So it's always a combination of tradition and new ideas and new things we are trying to invent. So the wine you have from us in the glass is also Ried Bernreiser. So it's the same vineyard that Maximilian showed before. It's definitely our most important vineyard we are growing. It is we have our oldest wines and oldest vineyards on this special place. My parents produced the plant the very first time in 1999, and they named it after my sister and me. So this is why you still find a combination of Anna Christina and Ried Bernreiser on the label. It got a really important blend for us, Anna Christina, because it was really the most important and best vineyard we were allowed to do wine with. And it is a blend being based on Zweigelt with 70% Zweigelt, 20% is Merlot, 10% Cabernet Sauvignon, because it is definitely one of the warmest and leanest places you can find in Carnuntum. The Ried Bernreiser is dominated by gravel, by sandy loess. It is one of the most chalky areas we have. So it is a very lean soil. The wines have to work really hard to root through these dry and lean soil conditions to finally reach the more clayey and watery areas down there. Of course, we do 100% hand harvest. The wines are now around 30-35 years old, having great age, actually the perfect age. So it's hand harvested, it is de-stamped. They are produced without any pumping. There is no crushing of the grapes anymore, no pumping, just bring in the berries by gravity to the wooden fermenters. Partly we add some whole bunches, it's depending on the vintage. In 2019 it was just around 5%, not too much, because it is definitely one of the best vintages of the last year we have, with a great but silky tannin structure. I think it is one of the most balanced and most complex vintages we had in the last years. So definitely a very fascinating wine for me. It is aged for 18 months in barriques afterwards. After the fermentation in the wooden fermenters, it goes to barriques, around half new oak, half used oak, not too much new oak, but it has some time to develop and age there. And after 1 year in the bottle, we released it a year ago.
Okay, very elegant and smooth, says Yola. Okay. Very elegant and smooth. And what about Maciej? Maciej, what would you say, Maciej, from Puro Hotel, from Krakow? Okay, this is Wino i Kieliszki is your distributor, yeah?
Yeah.
And Wojciech Wojtanowski, who's very silent here. And 2,500 bottles and 18 euro. No, sorry.
No. 31.
Sorry, I'm Wino i Kieliszki, 10,000 bottles and 31 euro. 31 euro is the shelf price in Austria. Very sorry for that. I mistook you with Caroline. Okay, anybody? Any comments, guys? Hello.
Everybody's enjoying the wine.
Perhaps, yes. Hope so. Yeah. Maciej is very shy, you know? Okay, good. Thank you very much, Christina. And sorry for this. Yeah, Christina is your mother and you're Christina. Yes.
No problem.
Good.
You're not the only
No
one.
problem. See you soon. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now this is Matthias Glatzer and Winery Glatzer and read Heidacker. Just hear me. I'm speaking Austrian. Heidacker. It's our bestseller. This is Wojciech. Very charismatic, very dry. I like it. This is Stratum House in Polish. Very charismatic, very dry. Like it. So this is Christina. This is about you, your wine, and our bestseller is Wojciech and Heidacker. Speaking Austrian. Matthias, hello.
No, it's Hannah.
It's Hannah. It's not Matthias. I'm confused. I don't know. Hannah Heidacker.
Yeah, it's Hannah with Britt Heidacker. Hello, I'm Hannah from Winery Glatzer. We're a family-owned winery in Göttlersbrunn, like all the other wineries before. Here you can see my father. He focused on producing wine. We, as many other wineries in our region, had a mixed agriculture, and my father was the first one who tried to focus on only making wine in the mid of the 80s. Yeah, now me and my brother are joining him and are going to overtake the company in the next around 5 years. Here you can see me and my brother. We're working organic, and we're also certified organic since 2018, and try to focus on producing origin-related wines that are very fine, elegant, and show their origin. Now, Ried Heidacker, you can see Ried Heidacker here below the street, that smaller part on the south on the picture. Ried Heidacker is one of our best sites for Zweigelt. We also got different varieties there, but we make a single vineyard Zweigelt from there because we think that the soil, it's a little bit richer than, for example, Ried Rosenberg, the other vineyard you can see here, with more loam and more. And it's also more sandy. There's also a lot of gravelstones, but not as much as in other vineyards. We ferment the Zweigelt in wooden fermenters for around 2 weeks. We do punch downs, very gentle punch downs every day, twice, in the beginning and in the end of the fermentation once. And then we put it into used oak barrels. We use barrique 225 liters, and as well as 500 liters tonneaus. We use mostly used oak barrels, but sometimes also a few new ones. But we believe that oak should only be like a support to the wine, but shouldn't really make up the taste. And we don't want the oak be like a makeup for the wine. We want to show the origin, the soil, the climate here in the very special soil and climate here in our region. So very gentle taste of oak, I would say. For me, Zweigelt is a very important variety in our winery and also in our region. And Zweigelt has so much potential. It can be an easy drinking, fresh, fruity wine, as well as an excellent, outstanding single vineyard wine. I mean, you need to really focus on the tannin structure, because Zweigelt can sometimes be a little bit, like when you don't really take care of the tannin structure, it can be too like jammy sometimes. So it's important to focus on the tannin structure and on the complexity, not to have it like as a grape juice or a jam. We want to have it really deep, complex, and with a touch of freshness, I would say.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hannah. So the total production of this wine is about 3,000 bottles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the shelf price in Austria is 23.9 euro. And you have no distributor in Poland by now.
No, I don't think so. No.
You don't think so? Okay. So
no, we don't have a distributor now.
Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you. Any comments, guys? How do you like it? Anybody? Hi, Dr. Dr. Brun, someone is typing very slow. Okay. Well, definitely not overoaked. Lovely. Good. Good. Very well. It's a good comment, I think. Thank you very much, Hannah. Thank you.
Thank you.
And sorry, I was 100% sure it was Matthias, but you're not.
Yeah, I couldn't attend the test in the morning because of a doctor's appointment. I'm sorry. So my brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Stay with us. And this is Stephanie now. Stephanie Boheim and Weingut Boheim. Ried Stuhlwerker.
Yes,
Stephanie?
Stuhlwerker.
Yes. Stuhlwerker. Oh, yes. We can
Now
see
you see
you.
me. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Stephanie. I'm from Avestal, which is next to Göttelsbrunn, a very small village which has 400 people living there. And 2012, I decided to study viticulture and enology at the University of Natural Resources and Life Science in Vienna. And then 2015, it was my first vintage at our winery. And now, together with my dad, I run the winery as a team of 2 generations, which is not always easy. But yeah, we share the responsibility for the wines in the cellar. But my dad's focus is the vineyards, and mine is sales and exports. Together, we cultivate about 20 hectares now, all on our own, so we don't buy any grapes. It's all sustainable certified. Half of the grape varieties are red, with focus on Grüne Veltliner and the White Burgundy varieties, and the other half are reds. Zweigelt and Blaufränkisch are the most important varieties in our winery. And today we will taste our single vineyard wine from the most west part of Carnuntum. It's called Ried Stuhlwerker, and it's only 2 kilometers away from the vineyard, as the Danube is just 2 kilometers away from the vineyard, and it is surrounded by Maria forest on 3 sides. So we have a lot of cool winds there, even in very hot periods, and the result is a super full-bodied wine, which is spicy and juicy but super elegant. The soil of Ried Stuhlwerker consists mainly of clay and loess. with a bit of lime at the bottom of the area, and the upper third is dominated by red gravel. Yeah, Ritschulwerker is a blend of 4 varieties, mainly Zweigelt, with a bit of Merlot, Syrah, and also Blaufränkisch. The grapes are all handpicked and pre-selected in the vineyard. And in the cellar with the steam, we crush about half of the grapes, and they are fermented in open steel fermenters. And we have pump overs about twice a day. The vintage 2019 was about 18 days on skin, and then had a natural malolactic fermentation in oak barrels. The aging is for about 18 months in only French oak barrels, and for 2019 we used 2/3 used ones and 1/3 new ones. I think 2011 was quite the opposite. So as you've already heard, oak is just to support the wine and should not be the focus. Ritschulwerker is, as always, very complex aromas of blackberry. Cassis is powerful and full-bodied, but as I already told you, it's super elegant on the other side. It's also a bit of dark chocolate with a long finish, and a wine with a fine acid structure and with an intense tannin, especially in the youth. So it's definitely a wine that will show its full potentials, let's say in 5 years, and will last for more than 20 years. It's definitely a wine to not drink when it's very young. It needs time to unfold and to get a velvety tannin. And it's a perfect partner for steaks, dark meat, or some major cheese. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the wine.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. So just to summarize, the shelf price in Austria it's 26 euro. Someone is typing the comment, and the total production is 3,000 bottles. That's correct, right?
Yes.
And no distributor in Poland. Congratulations on a great wine. Nicely balanced.
Thank you.
One bottle was corked, but well, it may happen always. Yeah. Thank you very much. And you're working with your dad, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So they are two generation and two different opinions.
Yeah.
Good. Well, very well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stephanie. And stay with us, please. And now it's the last wine, guys. Last wine. And this is Robert Pyre, who never passed the trial session. So perhaps he can join us. Let's see. Robert. Hello. This is what I thought. He can't join us. Why?
I'm coming.
He's coming. Yes, this is you.
Yes.
What happened to your face? What is it?
This is not for Christmas time, yes?
It's for Christmas. Good. Work on it. Yeah. Okay, Robert, happy to see you. And please, the floor is yours. Go on. Yeah.
Yes, we have Christmas time the whole year, yes. So hello from my side. I'm Robert Pyre from the winery Robert Pyre. The winery is a small family winery. We have only 12 hectares. We are working in I work in the 5th generation. We're beginning for wine producing about 780. And so the focus is in the winery with Grüner Veltliner and Chardonnay in the whites, and the red one is Zweigelt Blaufränkisch, and a little bit for Merlot and Cabernet for the blends. We are organic, so we started in 2016, and for the certificate for bottling is 2020. So we are for the wines. The focus is always for a single estate wine. We are highly valued for their complexity, fruit flavors, and the concentration. We're looking for. We bring the taste from the terroir in the bottle. So we work many times with stamps and hole punches, and so we start example bring the fruit and the tannin from the terroir in the wine with the wine in the bottle there. Now we can see this is the winery. We say here the house is not from 780, but it's on the place. We live here more than 240 years in this place. So the next picture. Now you can see here the hand selected. We have also hand picking, and then we have the second selection in the winery. After the stemmer here, you can see the berries. This is Zweigelt now. And so there are 4 people or 5 people that selected the berries. There is not perfect, or sometimes there's broken stems inside, so they selected it and give it outside. The next one. So now we have the wine reached Spitzberg. This is in the south of Carnuntum. Tina tells about before what is it terroir here. We have it's very sandy, and there's a lot of choke there. So it's also very hot here, but it's very dry. There's no water there, and so it's very perfect for the Blaufränkisch. Here is this is 2017. We have here a little bit older, so it's always the Spitzberg need more ripeness in the bottle. Then it's more. It's not too close and not too reductive at this wine. So this wine is we produced it hand picked, and after that we have food stamping 2 times for food stamping. The first stamping is for 2 hours per box. The next time only very soft for half an hour. Then with hand stamping, and after them 10 days we are pressing them. Then the wine comes in the small barrels, 225 liter barrels, and for 24 months with the whole yeast. So this is also very important for the wine. The wine is very elegant, a fine tannin. The acid is also a little bit high. You can see here we have acid is 6.2. The alcohol is not too much high. It's 30.5. And so it's very elegant, very raffiness, and very fine on the tongue. It's like you see here. This is one of the one that is in a Burgunder bottle. So this wine is also a little bit Burgunder style, and I think you can taste it now, and I hope you have the same feeling about this wine. Piotr? Hello? Piotr, I cannot hear you.
Coming. Sorry, technical issues. Well, someone is writing in German.
Oh, it's good for me. Yes, my English is not so good.
Ja, vielen Dank für diese.
Okay, vielen Dank für die ausgezeichnete Präsentation. Alle Weine waren wunderbar und für uns eine große Freude. Also the wine was very good, the presentation was very good, and the wine was wonderful. The best.
How fast you can read in German? It's very impressive. An excellent wine. What would be the best food pairing? The best food pairing.
Oh, food pairing. This is food pairing. What is food pairing? Food pairing. What is food pairing? Please help me.
Food pairing is red meat. Red meat with the wine. Yeah, for example, in this case, what would be the best food pairing?
Food pairing.
For this wine.
But look, one moment. So food pairing. Oh, this is more for not for for grilled meal. Is also perfect for fish, and some Italian food is very perfect. So the wine is not so heavy. It's very softly and very elegant, and very a little bit feminine. So it's not for the big sausage, and this is also for fine dine.
Good. And exzellente Weine, danke sehr. Das ist Wojciech from
Oh, hello, Wojciech.
Hello, Wojciech. Good. Thank you. So the price of this wine in Austria, this is about 44 euro, right? Shelf price. And the total production is 1,200 bottles. Yes, this specific wine, 1,200 bottles, and we are having 18 of that. Yes, and someone is. And your distributor in Poland?
No, we have today now.
You have no distributor in Poland. Yes, still now. So, yeah, any comments, guys? Robert, thank you very much, because this is because of you. It happened because you sent the wines to Poland, and yeah, so I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, we're hoping the door is open for Poland now.
Yeah, no, that this is a little bit crazy with the new excise controlling system launched in Europe, where nobody is registered, and it's difficult. But
the wine comes to Poland, was no problem. Or
yes, finally it came, and well, it's all cleared now. You know, we are clear. The customs is happy.
well, I think the next step is very easy. So now we have a way. We have all the papers, so there's no problem now for the future.
Very well. Thank you. Someone is writing. Yeah, typing. Yeah. Anyway, very happy we did this presentation, and yeah, I'd love to see you in Poland very soon, in person, not on the screen only. Big thank you. This is Hotel Stary from Krakow. Oh, Hotel Stary, so you're alive. Very well. First comment today. Very well. Thank you, Hotel Stary. And thank you for a great informative presentation. Ah, good. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, guys. Yes. Did you like it? Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Everybody wake up now, okay?
Yeah, at the end, they always wake up at the end. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, guys. And
Thank you very much.
See you soon. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good evening. Bye.